Do you believe in echoes from the past? Do you think that on those old jungle trails, deep within ancient forests once soaked in blood and fire, the war has never truly ended? People often say that history is written by the victors. But what about the stories that were never written into history books? The whispers around campfires, the strange experiences of returning soldiers, the mysteries that even science struggles to explain. The Vietnam War, one of the most brutal conflicts of the 20th century, left behind not only historical lessons and immeasurable sorrow but also a vast collection of eerie, haunting, and unexplained stories. These are not accounts of military campaigns or casualty statistics. Instead, they are tales of spiritual mysteries and bizarre events that challenge logic itself. Today, we will pull back the veil of the past and explore 5 of the most chilling wartime mysteries that remain unsolved. Let's begin this haunting journey. Mystery 1. The Ghost Armies of the Trong Son Mountains. The Ho Chi Minh Trail, running through the legendary Trong Son mountain range, was not only a strategic supply route but also a merciless battlefield. It became a gigantic meat grinder that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Bombs, disease, and death lurked everywhere. Yet many believe that something even more frightening than warfare itself remains there. Stories of ghostly armies that never stopped marching. Veterans from both sides, along with residents living along the Trong Son Range, especially in hotspots such as Khe San and Quang Tri, tell remarkably similar stories. They claim that on misty nights or beneath dim moonlight, they can hear the steady rhythm of marching footsteps, distant conversations, coughing, and sometimes even the faint singing of an invisible platoon. Some insist they have seen shadowy figures dressed in old military uniforms, carrying backpacks and rifles, silently moving through the darkness. A former soldier recalled nights when his entire unit was asleep and military dogs suddenly began howling in terror, staring fixedly into the darkness of the forest. The soldiers rushed outside but found nothing. Yet the chilling sensation of being watched by countless unseen eyes lingered in the air. These incidents occurred repeatedly, especially during memorial days and traditional ceremonies honoring the dead. Of course, skeptics have proposed explanations. Perhaps they were mass hallucinations triggered by wartime trauma and grief. Or perhaps the sounds were merely wind passing through mountain passes, distorted by the landscape. Yet these explanations failed to satisfy those who experienced the phenomena firsthand. Why are the stories so similar across locations hundreds of miles apart? Why do not only veterans but also younger generations born after the war tell stories of encounters with phantom soldiers? Many believe these are the spirits of fallen troops whose missions were left unfinished. Unable to move on, they continue marching forever along the trails where they met their end. To this day, the ghost armies of Trong Son remain one of Vietnam's most haunting wartime legends, a reminder that wars may end, but their echoes can endure forever. Mystery 2. The death of President Ngo Dinh Diem and the CIA's hidden hand. On November 2, 1963, South Vietnam's First Republic collapsed following a military coup. President Ngo Dinh Diem and his brother Ngo Dinh Nhu were assassinated. Everyone knows the coup was carried out by South Vietnamese generals. But one question has lingered for more than half a century. What was the true role of the United States, and specifically the CIA? Did Washington merely give the coup plotters a green light, or did it help orchestrate the entire operation? Initially, Diem's government enjoyed strong American support. Over time, however, relations deteriorated. Washington grew increasingly frustrated with the Diem regime, particularly after the 1963 Buddhist crisis and the shocking image of Thich Quang Duc's self-immolation. Declassified documents later revealed that the Kennedy administration was aware of the coup plans and signaled that it would not intervene to save Diem. Yet the extent of American involvement remains unclear. CIA officer Lucien Conine served as a direct liaison between the U.S. Embassy and the coup leaders. He was reportedly present at military headquarters throughout the operation. This fact alone has fueled suspicions that American involvement went beyond passive support. The greatest mystery concerns the final order that led to the brothers' deaths. The original plan was supposedly to exile them. Ambassador Henry Cabot Lodge had even prepared transportation. Yet the brothers were later found dead inside an M113 armored personnel carrier, bearing stab wounds and gunshot injuries. Radio Saigon initially reported that they had committed suicide. Few believed it. As devout Catholics, suicide would have been unthinkable to the Diem brothers. So who ordered the killings? Was it an impulsive decision made by an individual seeking to eliminate future threats? Or was there a hidden force ensuring that the brothers would remain silent forever? Despite decades of research and declassified records, the most crucial conversations and decisions remain buried in secrecy. As a result, the death of Ngo Dinh Diem remains one of the most enduring political mysteries of the Vietnam War. Mystery 3. Messages from Beyond and the Search for Fallen Soldiers. When wars end, grief often remains. This is especially true for families who never recovered the remains of loved ones lost in battle. In Vietnam, a remarkable phenomenon emerged: locating missing soldiers through dreams. The stories often begin in the same way. A mother, wife, or sibling of a missing soldier dreams repeatedly of the deceased returning to them. In these dreams, the soldier appears young, dressed in an old military uniform. With a calm but sorrowful voice, he describes the circumstances of his death and the location of his burial. He may mention a distinctive tree, an unusual rock formation, or a stream near the site. He pleads with his family to find him and bring him home. At first, families are skeptical. The information seems vague, and decades have often passed since the war. But the dreams continue, becoming impossible to ignore. Driven by faith and hope, families return to former battlefields. And in many cases, they discover exactly what the dreams described. Personal belongings are unearthed, canteens engraved with names, pens, journals, and eventually, human remains. Many of these discoveries were later confirmed through DNA testing. Scientists have attempted to explain the phenomenon. Perhaps relatives unconsciously absorbed information from surviving comrades and reconstructed it in dreams. Others argue that successful cases receive attention while countless failed searches are forgotten. Yet for families who found their loved ones, no scientific explanation compares to the belief that an enduring spiritual bond connected the living and the dead. These dream-guided searches continue today and remain one of Vietnam's most profound and emotionally powerful mysteries. Mystery 4. The My Lai Massacre and the Restless Spirits. On March 16, 1968, one of the most horrific events of the Vietnam War took place in My Lai, Quang Ngai Province. In only a few hours, American soldiers killed 504 unarmed civilians, most of them women, children, and elderly people. The My Lai Massacre became a permanent stain on the history of the U.S. military. The truth remained hidden for more than a year before investigative journalist Seymour Hersh exposed the story. Yet even after the facts emerged, local legends continued to grow. Survivors and residents describe an unsettling atmosphere lingering over the area. Late at night, some claim to hear crying, children calling for their mothers, and desperate screams drifting from the irrigation ditches where many victims were killed. Others report seeing pale figures wandering across the fields. Fishermen returning home after dark have described the eerie sensation of being followed by a silent crowd near the memorial site. When they turn around, no one is there. Many believe that the sudden and tragic deaths left the victims' spirits unable to find peace. According to local traditions, the souls remain tied to the land where they perished. Some paranormal researchers suggest that intense violence can leave a residual imprint, an echo of past suffering embedded in a location. But for many residents of Sun Mai, these are not residual energies. They are the spirits of family members and neighbors. Each year, communal memorial ceremonies are held in hopes of honoring and comforting the dead. My Lai is not only a historical site. It is also a place of deep spiritual sorrow, a reminder that the wounds of war, both visible and invisible, may never fully heal. Mystery 5. Silent codes and buried intelligence operations. Alongside the battles fought on the battlefield, another war unfolded in the shadows. It was the war of spies, secret communications, and coded messages. In this world, a single piece of information could determine the outcome of an entire campaign. Both sides relied heavily on sophisticated encryption systems. While the United States and South Vietnam possessed advanced technology, North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces developed surprisingly effective methods of their own. It was a relentless battle of intelligence and counterintelligence. Yet the greatest mysteries lie in what remains unknown. How many intercepted messages were never successfully decoded? What secrets did they contain? Cancelled military operations? The identity of a high-ranking spy? An assassination plot? The answers may still be locked away in classified archives belonging to the CIA or Vietnamese intelligence agencies. Then there are the covert operations we may never learn about. We know the stories of legendary spies such as Pham Xuan Anh. But how many other intelligence operatives lived and died in complete anonymity? How many mysterious disappearances and unexplained deaths were actually the result of clandestine operations? Many of these questions may never be answered. The people who knew the truth often carried those secrets to their graves. The intelligence war resembles an iceberg. What we know is only the visible tip. Beneath the surface lies a vast hidden world of silent codes, secret missions, and unanswered questions. We have explored 5 extraordinary mysteries, from the ghost armies of Trong Son and political conspiracies to messages from beyond the grave, the restless spirits of My Lai, and the hidden world of wartime intelligence. Each story reminds us that war leaves more than scars on the landscape. It leaves lasting marks on memory, culture, and belief. Perhaps these mysteries will never be fully solved. They exist in the fragile space between fact and legend, between logic and faith. They challenge what we think we know and remind us that the echoes of the past are still waiting to be heard. What do you think about these mysteries? Do you have another explanation? Have you ever heard similar stories from your parents or grandparents? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share it with your friends and family. Most importantly, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos. Thank you for watching.